And good day all, this is T-Healing29 back again for graphic novels that I've recently read through. And let's start off by going through the list of what I have presently read through. So, starting off with this side, we have Berserker, Volume 1 and of course Volume 2. House of Slaughter, which I think is a little bit better in some of James Tynion's writing. We have Search for Hugh, which was actually quite interesting, but is it top tier? Soon find out when I get to its rating. We have Demon Days by Peach Momoko, which is something that I have really been enjoying. King Spawn, volumes 1 and 2, and have also been collecting the comics of, and also been enjoying. King of Spies by Mark Millar, quite an enjoyable volume and definitely very interesting. Moving to the other side, we have Berserker Volume 2, as mentioned before, as we follow the character of Anute. Sean Gordon Murphy's Curse of the White Knight. Jennifer Blood, Volume 1. Royal City by Jeff Lemire, which is actually quite interesting in its own story of sorts. It does also deal with a little bit of supernatural. And of course, last but not least, for this particular side, The Complete Witchblade, Volume 3. And it's really nice to read this, as it is very much some of the classic stuff. And it's definitely worth the pickup. Moving into the last of the section of stuff that I've been reading through, we have Sideways, the next volume, which covers basically the last couple of chapters, as along with the annual which was in it, by Dan Didio. Something of Dan Didio's that I do personally enjoy over his running of DC Comics. At least he can write a decent story instead of being a jerk in running comics. So I'll give him that. Next we have Scorched Volume 1, which basically covers Spawn's version of a Justice League or Avengers. We have The Joneses, Volume 1. Again, very interesting. Has to do with a family with superpowers. We have New Think, Volume 1.0, which is basically an anthology of stories in each issue. We have Joy Operations by Brian Michael Bendis. This is actually something I did enjoy when it came out in the individual issues, even to the last issue. And last but not least, we have some Moon Knight by Jed MacKay. So I'm going to start off with first things first for the rating of the Berserker graphic novels. So Berserker Volume 1 and Volume 2, I will give a 7.5 out of 10. Now I'll just move straightly from the House of Slaughter and then into the rest of the volumes that you see here in regards to their series for their ratings. So the House of Slaughter is a bit of a break-off from Something is Killing the Children. And what this deals with is sort of like certain groups that are connected to Erica Slaughter, and also outside of that you do get to meet some other characters. And I must admit, it's a little bit more interesting compared to Something is Killing the Children, where Something is Killing the Children does sort of drag quite a bit. That's not to say that the story is bad, but it just got to that stage with me that I'd rather start to collect it in trade. So with House of Slaughter, it was something that was put out by James Tynion, and we got to sort of explore some of the different houses that make up the House of Slaughter. You learn that there are different groups. There's one red group, one green group, and some other colored groups. And they all deal in certain areas, and I think that's really good. And it also gives you a bit more understanding as to how Erica Slaughter sort of works in the area which she does in Something Is Killing the Children. For this, I'll give a 8 out of 10 because I quite enjoyed the story. Search for Hugh, this is one of those funny ones where I think sometimes some of the writers get a little bit caught up with, say, their own personal ideas within a story. And for some things it works, other things not so much. I still bring across my original criticism in regards to the story. I think they could have, I think if they kept the Jewish side out of it, the story would have been slightly better. But does that take away from the interesting parts that make up the characters? No, it doesn't. It does let you learn about, say, a character that served in war, and from there being brought into another war, which is sort of like a family feud, gang war, to which occurs. To which I'll give the story a 7.5 out of 10 overall. Demon Days, I have absolutely been enjoying the series. Straight 8 out of 10 from me. Kingspawn, Volumes 1 and 2, 8 out of 10 from me. The Mark Millar, King of Spies. I also thank Comic Boom and his channel for also speaking about it and also recommending it. And I'm glad I did get to check it out. A 7.5 from me. Alright. Moving into the middle. Straight into Sideways. So, if it's one thing that I do like what Dan Didio did, it is bringing in the character of Sideways. My only criticism is I would have loved to have seen this character get 50 issues. Like, what more could have been done with this character? How could this character have been explored more within the DC universe? With what was shown, it was absolutely fantastic. 8.5 from me. The Scorched, the Spawn version of basically the Justice League / Avengers type characters, sort of like in their early settings, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Moving into the Joneses, to which I give a 7 out of 10. New Think, I really enjoyed how the story in each issue was developed. A 7.5 out of 10. Joy Operations, a 7.5 out of 10. Moon Knight by Jed MacKay, an 8 out of 10. Moving into Batman Curse of the White Knight, a 7.5 out of 10, even though it is Elseworlds. Jennifer Blood, really enjoyed reading through the first issue, but I wouldn't mind reading some of the original stuff around Jennifer Blood in regards to her character and in Dynamite. For this, I'll give a 7 out of 10. Now, for Royal City, oh my goodness, I didn't think I wasn't too sure if I was going to enjoy this series or not. But once I read through this first compendium, and should there be solicitations for the second compendium, I'm definitely going to pick it up. It deals with a lot in regards to the past of the character, but also some events that take place in the present. And I do like the flashbacks that we get because it gives a little bit of depth as to what is happening with the character. We also get some spiritual scenes, which really caught me by surprise. And I wasn't too sure if I was going to like it. So overall, I do give the series and this compendium a 7.5 out of 10. Witchblade, seeing I've read through the first two, I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. As I enjoyed reading some of the classic Witchblade. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.